right now, our buddy Blake Shelton. Hey, we got a new song out today, huh?
We do, and we kicked around actually releasing this song last year at the end of the year, December, and Happy Anywhere was still kind of having its moment at country radio, and we didn't want anything to get in the way of that record because that's been a fun record to have, and didn't want anything to interfere with what it may go on to do. And so we backed out, and now we're releasing this song, Minimum Wage, which I've actually had recorded now for maybe a year or something, and just, everything kind of got spun out last year, obviously, as it did for everybody else. And so we're going to come with a new album that this will be the first single off of that album. And we're pumped about it just because it's up tempo, it's fun and full of energy. And I definitely need some of that in my life. and hopefully everybody kind of needs some of that.
Blake Shelton on with us. What was the first job you had where you made minimum wage?
I roofed houses in Ada, Oklahoma, and it may have been more than minimum wage now I think about it. I think I got paid $8 an hour, and I feel like way back then minimum wage might have been like $6 an hour or something closer to that. So, man, I stepped right into the big money roofing houses.
I roofed houses too in Arkansas, but I don't know if you started like I did. I had to be tear-off guy first before I was actually the guy with the shingles. Was that your path?
I never worked up to shingle guy. In 2 years, I was tear-off guy, and I could carry, by the end of the run, I could carry 2 bundles of shingles up at a time on my shoulder, which is like 120 pounds. That was the only time in my life I was ever in shape. Of course, I was still a teenager, so I had that going for me.
How do you feel about the return of the mullet? Because what did people say about yours back in the day versus, kind of the new generation of the mullet?
Yeah, well, here's how I feel about it, because I'm a little jealous, and that's being honest. I'm a little jealous that I don't have the mullet. But here's what I've found is, you look at like Morgan Wallen, he's a good-looking guy, and he's in shape, and when I tried growing my mullet out this last year during the quarantine time, I realized for me, you can't be fat and have a mullet. Like it has to be, you know what I mean? In order to get away with it, you have to have something else going for you. And back in the day when I had one, man, I was skinny, and that's not how it is anymore. And so I'm going to have to, if I'm going to have the mullet, I got to lose 150 pounds.
Blake, this whole controversy about minimum wage, when it finally gets to you that people are, I don't know, whatever they are, do you roll your eyes or do you go, hey, there's something to this?
Well, I've learned over the years not to just roll my eyes, until I really get to the bottom of whatever the particular controversy is that time. But when I saw what this one was, I don't want to dismiss everything, but it kind of was a roll of the eyes, because I think if you can find something offensive about this song, you're just looking for a fight, or you're probably not a country music fan to begin with. I really can't draw a connection between anything controversial and a love song. But it's the times we're in, I guess. But we're proud of the song, and we love it.
Yeah, which is weird because as soon as I heard about the controversy, I came on and was just railing against, these overly woke folks, is what I was calling them.
Yeah.
And then I started to get pushback for standing up for the fact that it was a metaphor for life and that I was someone who grew up on minimum wage for most of my life. And I was just so irritated. Then I heard Ronnie Dunn standing up for it too. Like, what in the world is happening with folks?
At some point, I think you just got to go, okay, well, if that's your take, we're going to keep going on with reality on this road, and you can take whatever turn you want to, because it's at the end of the day, it's a song about if you got love, then you've got everything that matters, and again, if there's something offensive about that, then this is not the world I want to live in.
Have any of your other songs sparked up a debate? Like, do people get upset about Hillbilly Bone? Because you know.
Only time that people get upset about that song is when we perform it live and Trace actually points in the area. he makes it a big deal every time it gets to the chorus, like he's got to point to himself to be sure you understand exactly what he's talking about.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I thought he meant he points to a hillbilly in the crowd.
No,
but he's pointing to his
you can say that.
area.
Yeah. Bone, ba ba bone, ba bone, ba bone.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Trace. That's not me. Send your cards and letters. Trace Atkins.
Okay.
Blake Shelton's on with us. I just got a couple more questions for you. I was talking to Devin Dawson recently, who is one of the writers on God's Country, and he told a story about how they had sent like a playlist to you of a few songs, and that God's Country was one of the first ones on that playlist. Can you just kind of tell me your version of the story about hearing God's Country?
I don't think I heard the other songs that they sent because God's Country was the first song on that email or whatever I got, and I stopped right there. I was on my there's a rumor going around that I was on my tractor, but I was actually on my skid steer, which is a different kind of equipment. But I had a Bluetooth in that thing, and I was mowing and doing some things, and I figured out how to. The only reason I think I even tried to open the email was to see if I could learn how to use my Bluetooth in there, and I turned it on, and man, I was shocked. I was blown away. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing because I knew that it was a game changer. It was that like nothing would be the same for any of us involved after this song, as far as from a career standpoint and what it was going to do, and in my mind anyway, because every time you record a song, you think, oh my God, this could do this or that. And this one to me seemed like it would just almost just start a new chapter for me. And it did, to be honest. It's one of the few times that I actually had a vision that came true.
Yeah. My last question for you. You have 28 number ones now. 28. Like, once concerts return, you're at the point now where you could do 2 nights in a city playing pretty much all number ones and other massive songs that didn't quite go number one. Is that something that you'd want to do, is do 2 nights in a city, making sure you get all the hits in?
Well, I want to play in front of a full crowd, and 2 nights probably will be 1 night too many for me. I guess if people would promise they would come back again the second night, then yeah, that would be a blast. I used to always think that about George Strait. I always thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if he did like a marathon, like a 4 or 5 hour concert, with just all his number one hits, and it was on HBO or something like that. But that's my big idea for George anyway.
He needs it. I think he's in the business for some career advice, so I'm gonna hit him up and tell
him.
He
loves it. He loves to work, I tell you.
Blake Shelton, hey, great to talk to you. Minimum Wage is a great song. Played it earlier. Love that you came on to talk about it, and good to talk to you. See you soon,
Thanks
bud.
for your support, buddy.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for
See you, bud.
supporting love.
You got it. There he is.